the hilly terrain where we are want to have our project. And now this is the water flowing in the hilly area. So now for that one we will be having the structures so that we can utilize this water for power generation. So basically, so we divert the water where we will find that this is the good place to divert the water. Okay, we will discuss how to decide this is a good one. And then that water carries the silt. So so very close to the diversion, we just have a tank called desilting tank, where we can remove the silt. After that, we had the silt-free water, which flows down up to the so through a channel. It could be around 1 kilometer long, 2 kilometer long channel, and after that we just have a tank at the end of this channel, which is called a 4-way tank. From there we take the water through a pipe, a steel pipe. We had that is penstock, and then we had the turbines or machinery in the powerhouse to generate the power, and then that power, so after the power generation, the water is released again in the river. Is it okay? Now, whenever you go to any area, so so wherever you find that this, so I think in the last lecture you might have heard about the dependable flow. Yes. What is that? If I say 50% dependable flow, what does it mean?
Depends upon how much water is coming from that.
The water.
50% above. If we have
This 50% is on water or on time?
50% on water.
No, on time. 50% dependability means 50% dependable on time means in a year. So this water is available for 50% time in a year.
That amount of water is available.
That amount of water, because water keeps on changing throughout the year. Is it okay? So generally we have 4 different monsoons. Okay. During monsoon we have the maximum flow. Is it okay? So now what is the dependability of that water during monsoon? 25%, because you know that it is for 3 months in a year. Okay, total number of months are 12, so it is 25%. Is right? So now, generally we just have for our power generation. So we had 2 different type of the projects. One is the grid connected, one is isolated. Do you know what is the difference?
In grid, different types of energies we can utilize: wind energy, solar energy.
Actually, just see, whenever any energy, finally it is converted to the electrical energy. Then it becomes same. Whether it is coming from solar, from wind, from hydro, you can't differentiate.
Yes.
Okay. Any energy which is converting into the electricity is same. After it becomes same. So grid connected is where you are having actually, you know that when you had a line going in the area where you can connect, you generate the water power and connect to that line. That is called grid connected. Isolated means, suppose you had, for example, you are having the rooftop solar in everybody's house. That solar, suppose you had that house very remote, not connected to the line, or group of houses in the area, that is called isolated. That is area in isolation.
And they are that energy consumption by itself.
They have to consume the energy by itself. If not consumed, then no generation. We have to see that we cannot generate more than what we consume.
Yes.
Actually, for our small hydro or the micro hydro, mini hydro, the problem was because they were in any remote area, and the persons in the remote area does not require any electricity during night time. So generally, all our hydropower projects of 100 kilowatt and below were closed during night because they were not required, and continuously water is flowing. Is right? So what was happening in those one, that you had a concept of dummy load. Actually, our problem was, if suppose 100 kilowatt you are generating, but you are not consuming, that 100 kilowatt where it will go? So there were two concepts. Either we just have the system which can close down the water flow, or it is continuously generating, okay, but you had the dummy loads where you can transfer this power generated. Is it okay? That concept was for our the small hydro project.
In such solar also, government is having two policies. Like in one you can generate for yourself. Okay. Otherwise, there is another policy. You send the power to grid. Okay, and the extra power which is.
This is done by smart meters.
So they are reducing that amount of money in the bill of the person.
Actually, what you had said, the previous one, that is connected. So that we are doing in our IIT campus, we are generating 1,800 kilowatt
Okay.
solar. Because at every department roof, so it was sanctioned by MNRE, and they just sanctioned 90% of the subsidy for our that campus. So what it is there, that you generate whatever firstly it will be priority is yours. So whatever is balance over, okay, because during say the weekdays, holidays, Saturday, Sunday, we don't require much. So if it is not consumed within this one, then it goes to the grid. So generally the rooftop solar, because why? Because they are in every household you are getting electricity from the grid, and you have a rooftop also. So they are the net metering concept is there. Smart metering. Whatever you are generating and you are consuming, so you will have to be paid for the balance. And you know that there is a concept of banking also because sometimes you are not at home. Zero consumption or very little. So everything is you are generating. So it goes to the grid. And now over the year, one financial year, so they will see how much you had consumed and how much you had generated. So for balance, you have to pay. Okay, so that is connected to the grid. That is not isolated.
The things what we are consuming, therefore that also we have to pay.
No. In smart metering, what he is saying, there is a concept of smart metering. A smart meter will automatically deduct. So because if suppose you are consuming more, so the difference will come in the meter, and that will be reduced if suppose some electricity is flowing to the grid.
Okay.
So that is a net metering smart meter.
If you are consuming less than the production, then you will be paid. Amount is credited in individual account.
Is right?
Okay.
In some state they don't credit it. They say कि balance could be zero.
Yes.
If you are generating more than that one, then you will not be paid. But your bills could be zero. Over the it is not monthly. Bill comes monthly. But net metering can just adjust it over the financial year for 12 calendar months. So it will be seeing whatever minimum minus plus is there, so that if suppose you are generating more in month of March and consuming more in month of next month, so it will be adjusted. Is right? But that is again a grid connected. It is not the isolated. Isolated will be when there is no electricity coming from outside, or electricity coming from mini grid of say maybe the local area. What does it? What do I mean? If suppose you have a 100 kilowatt small project, that is not connected outside,
Okay.
so it is only supplying the electricity to 2, 3, 4, 5 villages. So that becomes a mini grid. Is right?
Okay.
So that is isolated. Now, so two different clear-cut concept is grid and isolated. Is right?
Right, sir.
Now, for grid connected, you will be seeing the water which is available, say 50% time should have dependability of 50%. For isolated, you will see the dependability 90%. My question is, which discharge will be more, 50% dependability or 90% dependability? Everybody? What do you say? 50% discharge, dependable discharge will be more? Okay, answer is right. Why more? जिसने पूछूंगा, है ना? बोलिए मैडम.
So because that is a large amount of flow.
Okay.
And, we must not be getting that much flow throughout the year.
Okay, but okay, for how much time 90% dependable discharge will be available? For how much time in a year this 90% dependable discharge will be available?
So 90% time? Or 90%
Nee.
of a year? 90% time of a year?
90% how much time? Okay, 90% time in a year. Is right? So it is a so maybe that discharge is in the month of winter.
Almost minimum discharge.
Almost minimum discharge. You know, there is an interesting story about it. Actually, when this project MNRE started small hydro project, so they got UNDP funding for 20 projects. So in Meghalaya, they had they selected the project which were readily available with the DPR. And very big concern in Delhi prepared the report of those projects, and you know they were paid for the capacity of the project. So those projects were prepared with 25% dependability, and that was of 500 kilowatt or like this one. So those projects were forwarded to our department for review. We told them that this should be rejected because their dependability is only say to 10, even 10%, up to 10% dependability they were saying. Most of the time there was no water available. So but you know that with the government pressure, Meghalaya government pressure, now they were put up there, and UNDP team came to visit before sanctioning, because during monsoon, because those discharges are available only during monsoon, so nobody visit there during monsoon. Then when in the remaining period, when the team visited, they could not find any nala flowing, no water, because you know that at that time, so they could not identify which was the nala stream for which the report was prepared, because the discharge was available during monsoon period. After that, it was dry. So we just saw only 2 pages. What is the dependability? And then we just recommended this 100 kilowatt project should be reduced to 10 kilowatt because of the dependability. Is it okay? So now the 2 clear concept is isolated and grid connected.
So
yes.
we can create some tanks over the ground so that we can store for that field. But I think so it will be more costly.
You can just work out. Just see. I think in the last lecture you might have seen that the requirement of your what is the energy equation?
Gamma QH.
Gamma को आप gamma QH हाँ आगे.
Or efficiency.
What is gamma here?
Unit weight of water.
That is 1000.
1000.
Is right. So you know that equation which you are telling, this is in watt. Okay, if you divide this equation by 1000, so that gamma will cancel out, it becomes kilowatt. So what is the equation in kilowatt? QH into efficiency is right into क्यू एच तो हेड आ गया ना 9.8 इज राइट। जरा आप 100 किलोवाट के लिए देखना कि अब अगर आपका 100 मीटर हेड है तो हाउ मच डिस्चार्ज यू रिक्वायर हेड पे 100 किलोवाट अगर लगानी है